Hello. If you can hear me, can you give me a like? Are we able to hear me? Hello, Vina. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for joining the live. We'll wait for a few more minutes before we start, okay? I hope everybody is feeling good tonight. How was school today? Did y'all have a very long day? You can type it in the chat, okay? Hi, Ira. I see you. Hello. Oh, Aisha says that she had science WA2 today. I hope it went well, Aisha. Bad good. Bad good for Ashley. So many people having WA2 lately, right? This worksheet can be found on our Telegram channel. The link is on the Telegram channel. So if you are unable to find it, you can go and view it from the Telegram channel. Hello, I see so many names. I see Rafa. Hi, Rafa. Hello, 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐬. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Joining me today. Hello, Eldon. Eldon is Ashley's brother. Ashley is there too. Hello, Firdaus. Hello. Oh, tomorrow is your math exam. Somebody said tomorrow is the math exam. I think they are able to, I hope you are able to learn from today, okay? Okay. Is the connection okay on your end? Are you all able to hear me, or is there a delay? Can you all let me know? It doesn't look like I'm looking at the camera because I'm actually just reading your chats right now. So many people are saying that's fine, that's great, you can hear me. Hi Asfar, I can see you. Thank you for joining. All right. It's 8:04. Shall we start in one more minute? Okay, we are starting with an easy question today. Let me write this at the top. I'm Coach Shahira, for those of you who have not seen me before. And for my regular students, thank you for joining as well. For parents who are joining, hello and welcome to MasterMath live class on TikTok. Okay, we are going to start now, okay? I hope everybody has the worksheet. Of course, if you don't have it, you can always just take a piece of paper and write it on a piece of paper, okay? I teach primary levels, so P3 to P6. In case you are wondering, I see some people asking that. Okay, so let's start. All right, the first question here is asking us to express 3/4 as a percentage. Okay, we want to express 3/4 as a percentage. I see so many of you giving the correct answer. Indeed, the correct answer is number 4, 75%. So how did we get 75%? Let me do a quick recap. When you want to convert a fraction to a percentage, okay, what you want to do is to multiply by 100%. This is the first method. So you can just take 3/4 times 100%. Okay, and then you can do this thing that we've learned in P5 before. It's called cross cancellation. Okay, so this 100 can actually be expressed as 100 out of 1. And we can do cross cancellation where we have 4. We can actually cancel 4 to become 1, 100 to become 25. Okay, so how do we How do we do this? We can take 100 divide by 4 since 4 is a factor of 100. Okay, so with that, after we do cross cancellation, we will get 3 times 25, which will give us 75%. Alright, so this is method 1. Okay, method 2, if I want to convert a fraction into a percentage, and if the denominator is easy for me to change to 100, I can also do that. So method 2, I can take 3/4 and I convert the denominator into 100 because percentage just means out of 100. Okay, therefore I will have from 4, I need to multiply by 25. Do the same at the top. We will also get 75 as our numerator. This is the same as 75%. Okay, so this will also be 75%. Alright, now what I want to do right now is not just focus on this question, but also to run through with you guys the factors of 100. This is so that we remember whatever numbers that's given to us, we know how to convert it to a denominator out of 100, or we know how to do cross cancellation. Okay, so let's write down at the side. I hope everybody is writing this as well. Let's write down at the side the factors of 100. This is for a recap. Okay, so for factors of 100, do we know what are the factors of 100? If you know, can you type it in the chat? What are some of the factors of 100 that you know? Okay, for factors of 100, let's start off with the easy one. We have 1 times 100. We also have 2 times 50. That's right. Yep, I see 25 as well. That indeed is the next pair. 4 times 25. What else is there? Okay, we have 4 times 25. We can also have 5 as a factor. Its factor pair will then be, indeed, we have Stefan saying the right answer, I think. 5 times 20, indeed. After 5, we can check 6, 7, 8, 9, all of which are not factors of 100. So we can move on to 10, and that will give us 10 times 10. Okay? Pretty straightforward here. The thing that you have to remember, okay, sometimes PSLE can be quite tricky. They don't give you any of these factors. Instead, they give you this magic number, they give you 8. Okay, so if let's say you have example 3 out of 8, how do you convert it into a percentage? Then this is where you need to remember that 8 you multiply by 12.5, you will get 100. Why am I running through this 8 here? It's because sometimes they can be quite tricky. They will ask you for 8 as well. Okay, so 8 times 12.5 give you 100. Alright, this is from the fact that actually 8 times 125 gives you 1000. So if you want to divide by 10 to give you 100, 125 you also divide 10 to give you 12.5. Okay, so why are we learning this again? Sometimes they can be quite tricky. They give you a fraction, let's say 3 out of 8. They give you a very random denominator that is not a factor of 100, and 8 is actually quite a common one that is commonly tested. Okay, alright, let's move on. Can we go on? If we can go on, can you give me a smiley face in the chat? Okay, if we can go on, can you give me a smiley face in the chat? I see many smiley faces. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Question number 2 is asking us to express 0.5% as a fraction in its simplest form. Okay, do you want to try this now? Can everybody try this now? I'll give you maybe 2 minutes to think of this. Okay, let me pull up my timer. I'll give you 2 minutes to think of this. Okay, how do we do this? We see some differing answers. I have a 1, I have a 3. 1 or 2. Of course, you cannot write both in the exams, yeah? Some people say 2. I see someone saying they don't understand. Not to worry, we are here to learn. So if you don't understand, just stay tuned for the answer after a minute or so, okay? Give you a clue. Remember earlier on in question 1, we mentioned percentage just mean out of 100. Okay, that is a clue for you. Percentage means out of 100. Okay. A lot of people are actually giving the very commonly common answer that a lot of people usually give, but it's actually not right. So those of you who are done with the question, please make sure you check. Okay, the clue here is out of 100. I see many differing answers. Okay, final 10 seconds. Realize that you can't see my face. I will probably pull it up after we are done with this timer, okay? Alright, thank you for sharing all your answers. Let's go through it now. Let me see if I can pull up my timer back again. Not my timer, my face. Let me just pull up my face again, okay? There we go. Okay, hello, I hope you can see me now. Alright, let's go through this question. 0.5% as a fraction in its simplest form. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, the clue here is the percent. Percent actually mean out of 100. So 0.5% is the same as 0.5. Change the percent into out of 100. So this is what you're going to get. 0.5 out of 100. But of course, you cannot have a decimal in a fraction. So to get rid of decimal, the shortcut way is this. If you see one decimal place, what you want to do is to multiply it by 10. Okay, if you have one decimal place, you multiply it by 10 throughout. You will get 5 out of 1,000. Okay, if you see two decimal places, then you multiply by 100. If you see 3 decimal places, you multiply by 1,000. Okay, so the shortcut way to get rid of decimal points in fractions is to multiply it by either 10, 100 or 1,000 depending on how many decimal places you see. Okay, so with this we have 5 out of 100. Of course, we need to simplify this, so we can divide this by 5 throughout. Okay, divide by 5, we will have 1 out of 200. Alright, so those of you who said 3, that is correct. Those of you who did not get the correct answer, I hope you understand this now. Okay, percent just means out of 100, so you rewrite 0.5% by changing the percent into out of 100. Okay, and afterwards, you can multiply by 10, 100 or 1,000 depending on how many decimal places you see in the numerator. Okay, and then you simplify your answer to get you your final answer, which is number 3. Okay, alright. Okay, I hope everybody has learned something already. Shall we now move on to question number 3? Okay, I think we are going at quite a good pace. Let me know if I'm going too fast. If you don't understand anything, you can also just type it in the chat, okay? This is PSLE revision. This is for percentage. For those of you who has just joined, we are going through percentage revision, yeah? Okay, question number 3. This question is pretty straightforward. Okay, please read carefully. They are asking you for the percentage of children that were boys. They gave you the number of children, which is 80, and they told you that there are 56 girls. Alright, I will go a little bit slower. Anybody not done with the previous page? Are we still writing? Okay, let me give you a bit more time to take this down. Okay, anybody still not done? Otherwise, I'm going to move on in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, let's go on to question number 3. Okay, question 3. In a group of 80 children, 56 are girls. What percentage of the children were boys? Okay, this is the question. Those of you who have typed in the chat, thank you for sharing your answers. Those of you who are not done, please try this question now. I'm not going to pull up the timer, otherwise you will not see my face. But let me give you about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to think of this question, okay? Some of you are giving hints for your friends online. That is very nice. Okay, remember that we are looking for boys, not girls, and we are asked to find the percentage of the children. So let me give you another clue. It's of the children. Okay. All right. Let me give you probably about 1 more minute. Okay. Some of you have found the correct number of boys. That's wonderful. Ah, I see fetal. I am going to talk about fetal. That's great. Remember that your denominator here is referring to what the of is talking about. Okay, so the question says what percentage of the children, so your denominator should be the children. Okay. All right, somebody is asking what is fetal. Very interesting. So let me share with you fetal, okay? I hope everybody is ready. Okay, before we go straight into the question, let me share with you a little bit about fetal since it was mentioned in the chat. Fetal is actually what I like to teach my students to identify the denominator in our fraction in order to get the correct percentage, okay? So fetal here is to identify the denominator or the base of the percentage. Okay, let me quickly write it down. To identify base or your 100%. Okay, we use fetal. For those of you who know what is fetal, do you all know what is F, A, T, and O? What do they represent? I see some correct answers there. Fantastic. F here actually represents from. Okay, F stands for from. A stands for as much as many as, or as compared to, either of these three. Okay. T represents then, and O represents of. Okay, so to identify the base or our 100%, we use fetal to help us. Fetal is actually your keywords, and your base comes immediately after the keywords. Okay, immediately after fetal, whichever keywords that appears in your question, just identify them, and whatever comes immediately after is going to be your base. So in this case, we see of, which is our keyword. From fetal, we see of. So we know that of the children, this is going to be my base. The children is my base. Okay, so I know that there are 80 children, therefore my base is going to be 80. So those of you who did not get the base or the denominator as 80, I hope you know or you understand why now. Because of the word of, the denominator comes after it, okay? Immediately after it. So our base is 80. And then since we want percentage of the children that were boys, basically we already know that our denominator is children. We are interested in boys. Okay, so this is what we want. And again, to convert this into percentage, we using method 1 from question number 1, we multiply by 100%. Okay? And then we just have to fill in the blanks. I know that the boys is my total, minus away my girls, out of the children is total. Okay? If you did it separately, that's perfectly fine as well. Let me move it over so you can see. And then we multiply this by 100%. Okay? Those of you who got 24, 80 minus 56 to give us 24. Fantastic, you got that right. So all I got to do is take 24 out of 80 times 100%. Okay? Then again, we can simplify. Always remember to simplify in two ways. Either cross cancellation or top and bottom. Okay, basically cross cancellation is also top, comparing top and bottom. So here I have 100 and I have 80. I can cross cancel, take away the zeros. When I take away the zeros, what I'm doing is actually just dividing by 10. Yeah, so I divide by 10 here. I have 8 and 24. Just nice. I know that 8 is actually a factor of 24, so I can divide perfectly. So I can cancel 8 to become 1, 24 to become 3. Okay, why am I doing this? 8 became 1 because we divide by 8. So at the top, we also divide by 8. We will have 3 out of 1. Multiply this by 10. So 3 times 10 to give us 30. The denominator stays as 1 times 1, which is 1. Therefore, we will get the answer 30%. Question number 3, answer is option 2. Those of you who got 30%, excellent job. Alright. Okay, so we have 30% here. Do you think this is easy to understand? Is everything okay? Alright. Okay. Another way to do this, okay, let me just very quickly show you a method 2. I'll write it at the side here. For method 2, since we know our base is 80 and in percentage base is actually 100%, so we know that 100% is 80. Let me do it the other way around, okay? We know that 80 is actually 100% because 80 is our base. We want to find 24, okay? Eventually, we want to reach 24 because this is our boys. So from 80 to 24, you can use various numbers in between. Okay, for example, you can find 8 people first. How many percent is 8 people? Divide by 10. Divide by 10. We will have 10%. Okay? And then from 8 to 24, we multiply by 3. This will get 30%. That is our answer. So 2 methods to solve this. One is by multiplying by 100%, and the other is using the fact that we know our base is 80 and base is 100%, we can use the arrow method. Okay? Okay, if you prefer this method, that's perfectly fine. If you prefer this method, that is also okay. Alright, you will still get the same answer. Okay, shall we move on to question number 4 now? We are halfway through almost. Okay, we have 7 questions today. This is primary 6 for those of you who just joined. Okay, let's move on to question number 4. Okay, some of you are stuck at question 4. Let's run through question 4. Question number 4. A fitness club has 200 male and 150 female participants, female members. Let me use a different color so that you're able to compare. Okay, now 20% of the male members, again we see the keyword of from facto. our keyword that appeared here is of. So I will circle this of. This is of the male members. So I will highlight this in orange. Okay. And 30% again of, but this time around it's the female members. So this would be the pink one. Okay, 30% of the female members are students. What percentage of the members are students? So here I want of the members. Okay, I want of the members. Of the members here, they did not specify whether it's male or female. Indeed, they did not specify whether it's male or female. So we are actually looking at everybody. Okay, we want to know. How many participants. Indeed, there is an error here. Thank you for pointing that out. We want to know how many participants are students. Okay, let me just quickly change that. How many members are students? Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. How many members are students? So let's run through this together. I see that some of you are quite stuck in the chat. Okay. We want to know how many members are students. We can do it separately, looking at the male and the female separately, and then later on we can add them together. Okay, since we are given two different categories. So let's look at the male members. Okay, 20% of the male members are students. So if we want to find male that were students, we know that 20% of the male members are students. So back in P4, we already learned that when we see of, it's actually the same as times, okay? I'm sure you've seen this many times in P5 and P6 as well. When we see of just means times. That means 20% times the male members. Let me rewrite that for you. 20% of male members are students. Okay, if we were to rewrite this, 20% is the same as 20 out of 100. Of is the same as times, and male is the same as 200 people. There are 200 male members. Okay, so to find this, we just have to again do cross cancellation, simplify as much as we can. Okay, so here it's very easy because I see so many zeros. Alright, so this way I can divide this by 100 to give me 1, divide this by 100 to give me 2. I'm left with 20 times 2. Easily I will get 40. Okay, so I know that there are 40 male students. Okay, 40 male students here. Let me run through one more time for those of you who don't understand. Okay, in math, the word of just means times. Okay, just like how the word and means we have to plus. Okay, the word of here just means times. Alright, so when they say 20% of the male members, I am rewriting this in terms of what I know. 20% I know is 20 out of 100. We've seen in question 1, in question 2, we know that percent is the same as out of 100. I change of into times, change it into math. Okay, what I'm doing is changing from English to math here. Of means times. And male, the question told me there are 200 male, so I will change this into 200. Okay, so far so good. Alright, so from here I can take 20 out of 100 times 200. Again, what I'm doing here is actually cross cancellation. Okay, change 100 into 1, divide by dividing this by 100. 100 divide 100 is 1. 200 divide 100 is 2. So I'm left with 20 times 2 to give me 40. Okay? So many of you are moving on way ahead of me already. Fantastic. So you know how to find female from here, right? Basically the same way, changing from English to math. Okay? So we know that to find the female students, female who are students, I just have to take, basically rewriting what the question say. 30% of the female members. Okay? Changing from English to math again. 30%, percent means out of 100. Of means times. Female, the question told me it's 150. Okay? Okay. So let me solve this. 30 out of 100 times 150. Okay, again, we can do cross cancellation. 150 is the same as 150 out of 1. Okay? And then what we want to do here is to divide. When we see 100 as well as 150, okay, we can actually just cancel the zeros or straight away divide by 50. 100 divided by 50 gives us 2. 150 divided by 50 gives us 3. Okay? So now we are left with 30 times 3 out of 2. For those of you who are faster, you see that this is 30, which is an even number. You can further simplify by dividing by 2 straight away. Okay? But for those of you who are not very strong in your mental calculations, we can do this step by step. This is the same as 30 times 3 out of 2, which will give us 90 out of 2. Okay? 90 out of 2 is the same as 45. You can do your long division at the side. 90 out of 2 is the same as 45. Okay? So now that I know there are 40 male students, 45 female students, let me change this into black as well, just for standardization. Then my total students would be 40 and 45 to make 85. So the correct answer is option 1. Okay? Those of you who got 1, excellent job. The rest of you who are not very sure, please ask in the chat, okay? Let me see. Can we take 20 plus 30 out of 100 multiplied by 150 plus 200? Let me see. You want to take, I have a question here, let me clarify. We want to take 30 plus 20 to give us 30% plus 20% to give us 50%. So 50% of the total 200 plus 150. Okay, if you were to do this, you will not get the correct answer. Okay, this is because what you are doing here is you are adding the two percentages. This is not correct because they have different bases. Okay, you cannot add percentages with different bases. That means your denominators are different. You cannot add percentages with different denominators in that sense. Okay, why are they different? Because one of them is of the male, the other one is of the female, and the male and female numbers here are different. Okay, I hope I clarified your question. Anybody else? Okay. Why don't need find the percentage of students to total? Because there's a mistake in the question. If I'm understanding your question right, we are not looking for percentage, we are looking for how many members are students, yeah? Okay, we are looking for how many members are students. Please change the question if you haven't already done so. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, fantastic. All right, no problem. Shall we move on now? Question number 5. Okay, we have 3 more questions to go. I hope you stay with me. Thank you for learning together. The next free live class for primary 6 is next Tuesday, same time, 8 p.m. Okay? All right, let's go on. Question number 5 now. This question is very, very important to remember, okay? So let me put a star there. Ellen was given a fixed allowance every week. In the first week, he spent $90 and saved the rest. In the second week, he spent 20% less than the week before. And his savings increased by 30%. Okay? The question is asking, how much was Alan's weekly allowance? Alright. How much was Alan's weekly allowance? Okay, for those of you who know how to do this, of course, please go ahead and try this out by yourself. Okay? For those of you who have no idea what this question is talking about, let me give you a clue. The clue here is your fixed allowance. What does fixed allowance tell us? What does fixed allowance tell us? Anybody knows? You can type it in the chat. What does fixed allowance tell us? Okay, let me give you another clue. It tells us something about the total. What about the total? Very good. Every week, same amount. Somebody said that. Yes, same every week. Excellent. The word same also tells us that the total does not change. So we are actually looking at the idea where our total does not change. Okay, it's the same every week. Okay, so if you were to actually draw out the model, it's very easy to see. Okay, let me draw it out for you. In the first week, let's call this week 1, he spent $90 and he saved the rest. Okay, we don't know how much he saved. Let's just put it as such. Doesn't really matter the size for now because we don't know the actual value. And we know that this is $90 that he spent. Okay? Alright. In week 2, he spent 20% less than the week before. Are you able to identify the keyword here in the phrase that I've highlighted? What is the keyword? It is from FETO. Think of FETO and tell me which of these keyword appears in this phrase. Are you able to see it? Which of these keyword from FETO appears in this phrase? Yes, indeed, we see then, right? The T represents then, and I see then here. So I know that immediately after the word then, this is my 100%. The week before is my 100%. Okay, the amount that he spent in the week before is going to be my base. Alright, so I know in week 2, he is going to spend 20% less. Oops, this is week 2. He's going to spend 20% less. And because of this, because our total does not change, recall the total does not change, we can fill in the amount that he saved. Okay, we can fill in the amount that he saved, which is these extra portions here. Okay, because the total does not change. This is week 2. Okay, now let me redraw it to show you the extra 20%. Give me a second. Oops. Okay, so your 20% that was removed is actually here. Okay, this was removed, and however much this adds up to, this whole thing is actually whatever that's saved. Okay, again, this is spent. Alright, and this portion here, which I've highlighted in, maybe I change the color to blue. The portion that I've highlighted in blue is actually your 20% of the expenditures that he spent less on, and this is going to be the same. Okay, it will be plugged into his savings, which happen to increase by 30%. Okay, I hope you understand this model. One more time. The amount that he saved less here is plugged into his savings, which happen to be 30% of the savings. That's why his savings increased from here to here. Okay, Alright, so with this, we need to know how much less did he spend. And since we know that he spent 30% less, okay, the amount that he spent, not 30%, 20%. The amount that he spent less was 20% of the previous week. So again, we are using the same method as earlier. 20% of the previous week is basically week 1's spending. Okay, again, changing what this question is saying into what we already know our base to be, which is week 1's spendings. And then again, I change it into something that I can calculate easily. 20% is 20 out of 100, multiplied by week 1's savings, which is $90. Okay? Alright, again, simplify, do the cross cancellation, divide by 10 across, divide by 10 top and bottom as well. Okay, we can cancel the zeros. This leaves us with 9 times 2, which is 18. Okay, so we know that he spent $18 left. So this 30% of savings is also your $18. So now that I know 30% of savings is $18, I can find the entire savings. 30% of savings is 18. I can find 100%. Okay, if this were to come out in paper 2, perfect, you can use calculator. But if it comes out in paper 1, then you gotta find ways to help you jump from 30% to 100%. Okay, and this would be 30. We can actually find 10% first. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Okay, 18 divided by 3 gives us 6. And then we times 10 to give us 60. Okay, so we know that the 100% of savings, which is the original one here, is $60. Okay, from there we can find how much his weekly allowance is, your $90 with your $60. Okay, so total allowance, let me write it at the side here. Total allowance would be 90 and 60 to give us $150. Oops. Okay. We are not going to recap on algebra today, just on percentage. Okay, I understand that some schools have not started on algebra. Alright, so the correct answer here is question number 2. Oh, sorry, not question 2, option 2. Option number 2. Okay, we have the last 2 questions to go. I hope you stay with me till 9 p.m. If, of course, I end earlier, then we can leave earlier, okay? Thank you for staying with me, those of you who are still here. Let me give you a minute to digest everything that question number 5 was discussed, okay? Everything that was discussed in question 5. So let me repeat one more time. Total unchanged is what we understand from the term fixed allowance. Fixed allowance means allowance is the same every week. That's why the total does not change. And if the total does not change, when I draw my model for week 1 and week 2, the total sizes must be the same because it's unchanged. Okay? Alright. And then in this phrase here, highlighted in orange and pink, we understand that because he saved 20% less, his savings increased by 30%. Okay? Because the total does not change, that's why if you pluck out 20% from your spendings, you must put it into your savings, which happen to be 30% here. So you can actually find what is 20% of week 1's savings. How much less did he spend? That will be $18 here. So this $18, instead of spending, he went to save it. And this became 30%. So 30% of the savings is 18. Therefore, all of his savings, 100% is 60. So this portion here, the 100% of savings is 60. So the total allowance would be $90 together with $60 to give you $150. Okay? Alright, shall we go on now? The answer is indeed number 2. Okay? All right. Okay. Somebody said this live is saving his grades right now. I'm so glad to know that. Okay, let's go on. Question number 6. Question number 6. After a discount of 20%, the price of a concert ticket is $200. Talking about concert, next week is Blackpink's concert. In fact, it's this Saturday. Those of you who are going, can you give me a thumbs up if you're going for Blackpink's concert? I'm also going, so I'll see you there. Blackpink's concert is this Saturday, yeah? Those of you who love Blackpink, we can be friends. Those of you who don't like Blackpink, unfortunately, we can't be friends. Just joking. Oops. Oops, what just happened? So sorry. Okay, let's continue. Okay, question number 6. After a further discount of 20%, the price of a concert ticket is $200. Alright, based on this, the question is testing us on discount, yeah? So after a 20% discount, keyword is after. Why is the keyword after? Do we know why the keyword is after? The keyword is after because the price that is given to us is going to be how much that was paid. This is after the discount. Therefore, it's no longer going to be 20%. It should be 80%. Do we understand this? Okay? Because of the word after, this $200 is not 100%. Okay? It is not 100%. It should be 80%. Okay? A lot of students always make this mistake by taking $200 to be 100%. This is not correct because it's after a discount. Yeah? So after a discount, the price of the ticket is $200. So we know that actually 80% is $200. So straight away we can write that down. 80% of the original ticket price of original cost is $200. Okay? So right now there are two things that we can find. Either the 20% or the 100%. Okay? Either the 20% or the entire original, which is 100%. So let's see what we need. Okay, let's go on. Students are given a further discount of $20. Okay, because students are given a further discount, how I wish I was a student right now. So when I buy the ticket, it's going to be much cheaper. But anyway, after given a further discount of $20, we want to find out what is the total percentage discount given to students. So this question is testing you on percentage discount. Let's do a quick recap. Okay, let's do a quick recap at the side. What is the formula for percentage discount? Can you quickly help me type it in? What is the percentage discount here, right? What's the formula for percentage discount? How do we find percentage discount? Okay. So what do we do for percentage discount? Back to formula, yeah. This one you have to know. Percentage discount is actually just discount. Let me write this a little bit smaller. Discount over original times 100%. Okay, discount over original times 100%. Okay, so this is basically your formula. So from here we already know, not only do we need to find the discount, which is this 20% here, which is your discount, we also need the original. So we need both, okay? Earlier on I mentioned we can find either of the 20%, which is the discount, or the original 100%. But based on this formula, we need both, so we can look for both, okay? To find 20%, this is not difficult. We can divide both sides by 4. Okay, 200 divided by 4. This will give you original. 200 divided by 4 will give you 50. Okay, so 20% of the original is 50. This was the discount that was given here. Okay, so since we know it's 50, we can write down $50. Okay, and then we not only have to find 20%, we have to find the original because of the formula. The formula requires us to use original. So the original here would be your 100%. Okay, which in this case, we multiply both sides by 5. So 50 times 5, we are going to get 250. Okay, $250 for this concert ticket. Not cheap, huh? Okay, so we know that the original is $250. We want to find the discount given to students out of original times 100%. I already have this. I do not have this yet because I do not have the discount given for the children yet, okay, for the students. So all we have to do is to find the total discount given to students. Okay, so for regular folks, for normal people, they get $50 off. For students, they get extra 20. So that gives us $70. Okay, so that gives us $70. Y times 5. Okay, y times 5 here, we want to find 100%. Back to question number 1, factors of 100. If we want to find 100, we are given 20. To get to 100, we need to times 5. Okay, so we multiply to find 100. Okay, why 100? Because I want original. Original just means 100%. Okay, alright, so the total discount given to students is 70. Now I have everything I need for my formula. So all I got to do is to plug in the values and solve the question. So percentage discount to students would be, plug in the value, discount is 70, original is 250, then we multiply this by 100%. Okay? Alright, so I cancel the 0, cancel the 0. When I cancel 0 again, not just anyhow cancel. When I cancel 0, it just means I'm dividing by 10, okay? So I divide by 10. So when I cancel 0, I divide by 10, and then I can also do cross cancellation. I see 25, I see 100. In question 1, we already know that the factor of, one of the factors of 100 is indeed 25. So straight away, I can cancel 25, become 1, 100 becomes 4. Okay, 100 divided 25 is 4. So that leaves me with 7 times 4, which is 28%. So my final answer is option number 2, 28%. Okay. Do we understand this question? Coach Irfan likes to joke about cancelling so many zeros. Yes. Cancelling zeros, again, cancelling zeros just means divide by 100. Of course, if there are many zeros, that will be perfect. You can cancel. Okay, very easily. Alright. Okay, again, how did we get 4 here? 100 divided 25 gives us 4. Okay? Do we understand here? Let me just run through with you one very common mistake that a lot of students give. Okay, common mistake is, what they do is, they give me 100% of original is $200. That is not correct because it's after discount. So it should be 80%. Okay? Should not be 100%. Alright. Okay, last question. Oh dear. Let's run through the last question very quickly. Then we can call it a day. Okay? Thank you for staying with me. Let's move on. Okay. Question 7. Okay, last question for today. Question 7 here. Rina saved $300 in February. This amount was a 20% increase from what she saved in January. Okay, the amount she saved in March was a 30% decrease from what she saved in February. What was the percentage change in the amount Rina saved in March compared to January? I see so many keywords. Back to Pheto. I see so many keywords from Pheto here. Are you able to spot them? Okay. The answer for question 5, somebody's asking, it's number 2. Okay. The answer for question 5 is 2. The answer for question 4 is number 1. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go back here. Are you able to see the keywords? I see some of you typing it. Indeed, we see from. We see a from. Remember, F here stands for from. And after from is whatever she saved in January. So straight away we know January is 100%. Your base. Base is 100%. Okay, so we can actually straight away write that down. January is 100%. Okay, January is 100%. Then because we know that February is a 20% increase. So that would be 100% plus another 20% to give us 120%. Straight away we know the percentages for 2 items, January and February. Okay? Finally, we want to find, let me zoom in a little bit. Is this better? Finally, we want to find the percentage in March so that we know what is the change, yeah? What is the percentage change? So not just from, I also see another from, okay, which is in this phrase here, another from. And this is what she saved in February. So now I know that my base is February. However, just now teacher say base is 100%, right? But February is not 100%, it's 120%. So what we can do is, okay, because it's a 30% decrease, 30% decrease just means March is 70%. This part understand? 30% decrease, 100 minus 30 gives us 70%. Okay, so to find out what is March, okay, we can take 70%, 70 out of 100, times 120%. Okay, let me explain why times 120%. This is of the base, February. This part can understand. Why times 120%? It's because 70% is March. This is of whatever that is in your base, February. Okay? Thank you for staying. Those of you who need to go, you can. Thank you very much. Let me just speed up a little bit. So now that we know March, we can just calculate. Again, I see zeros. Cancel the 0 top and bottom, divide by 10. Across also, divide by 10, cross cancellation. I'm left with 7 times 12 out of 1. 7 times 12 out of 1 is the same as 84%. So March, I know, is 84%. Thank you, Samira, for joining. Okay, so March is 84%. Let's move on. I want to know the percentage change in the amount Rina saved in March compared to January. Again, I see another keyword. Although I don't see as, I see compared to. So we can just treat it as compared to, which is this one. Okay, as compared to. Okay, so I know that I want to find the percentage change from January to March. Back to the formula, percentage change, just like percentage discount, is actually your change over original or your base, okay, times 100%. So the change here from from January to March is basically 100 over 8 minus 84. That's the change out of your base. Because of the word as compared to, your base is going to be January. Okay, so the base is 100. So we can change this into out of 100 times 100%. Okay, 100 minus 84 gives us a value of 16. So our final answer is just 16%. Okay, so this gives us the final answer, 16%, which is option number 3. Okay. Alright. Thank you for joining in, Samira, Sahana. Thank you very much. Alright. How come the base is 100? Let me explain one more time. The base is 100 because of January. January is 100%. Okay, this is because of January. This is January minus away March. Okay, the percentage change is January minus away March. Okay, I hope I've answered your question. Alright, so we have 100 minus 84 out of 100 times 100% to give us 16%, yeah? In fact, notice that we did not even use the $300 here. If you were to use values to help you solve, okay, go and find out what is January in terms of dollars, how much is March in terms of dollars. You can also solve it, get the same answer, 16%. Okay? Alright, I hope you have learned a number of things. Remember that percentage means out of 100. Remember how to identify bases in percentage using factor, from, as much as, then, and of. Okay, as compared to also works. Alright, so I hope you've learned quite a number of things. If you are okay, I will see you next week at the same time. Thank you very much. I will stay to answer some questions. Okay, I will stay to answer some questions. Where did February go? We are not interested in February because the question says March versus January. So we are only interested in March and January. Yeah? So we do not need to use February's value, 120%, to help us. Okay? Alright, any other questions? If not, I will see you guys either in our normal lessons or on the next live on Tuesday, 8 p.m. next week. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to end in 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the likes. Bye-bye. Bye, Farhan. Okay, leaving now. Bye-bye.